Matthew, GDPR comes into play on the 25th of May of this year. Is it too late for businesses to get their house in order?
No, Dan, it's certainly not too late. It's fair to say there's a lot to do, and the Information Commissioner has made it perfectly clear that GDPR isn't something like the Year 2K bug where you can just do a quick fix, and as long as you do that before 25th of May, you can then forget about it afterwards. It's very different from that. It's about an ongoing culture change within the business, really. The Information Commissioner's Office have made it very clear that if you're taking the right steps and going down that path, that they're unlikely to come down on you like a ton of bricks. But they do also make the point that businesses have had 2 years to get ready for this. So don't expect too much leniency. There's a bit of mixed messaging coming from the Information Commissioner.
And in your experience, you've met a lot of customers, a lot of businesses over the last year or two. How ready are businesses now?
Some of our larger clients have been working on this for 2 years and have whole teams of people dedicated to sorting out GDPR. Other clients have been thinking about it for 2 weeks, and we've really noticed, since the new year, a big upsurge in inquiries about GDPR and getting ready for it.
But it's more than just having a data protection policy in place, right?
It is a lot more than just having one policy. What businesses need to be doing right at the outset is conducting an information audit to work out what kind of information they hold within their organisations. And that then informs decisions about how you handle that information and, importantly, what legal basis you've got for handling it. We know about consent, but that's not the only way of justifying processing data. There are other ways it can be justified as well. And then after that, businesses need to think about the information that they give to their customers and other members of the public that they're dealing with, about how they collect that information, how they store it, who they might be sharing it with, what they're using it for, and what sort of information it is. So that all needs to be contained in what we call a privacy notice, which is different from a data protection policy. Other things to think about are the important subject of data security. How secure is the data that you're holding? And that's something that's going to be of very great interest to the Information Commissioner and something that they will look at very carefully. So things like firewalls, internal controls, and don't just think about IT, think about any hard copy information that you're holding as well. Linked with that is the question of data retention and data destruction. So you need to think about how long are you keeping that data for, what kind of policies and processes have you got in place for getting rid of it when it's no longer relevant. You also need to think about who you might be sharing it with. For instance, if you've got payroll bureaus or marketing agencies, other external organisations that you might be legitimately sharing that data with, but there are requirements in the GDPR for controlling what those third parties do with the data, and you need to cover that off in your contractual arrangements with them. Lastly, there's a whole raft of rights that individuals have under the GDPR, and you need to be thinking about how you can comply with those rights that they have. So, for instance, the right to access the information, the right to be forgotten, etc., etc.
Are non-compliant businesses likely to get a knock on the door by the Information Commissioner?
I think it's fair to say the Information Commissioner's Office aren't going to have the resources to pursue everybody. So they're going to be looking for the low-hanging fruits, and they're going to be looking for the high-profile cases, the car phone warehouses, the talks of this world. That said, attention from the Information Commissioner could focus on you in unexpected ways. So, if you don't deal with an individual's rights in the correct way, or you don't deal with a request from a customer for access to their data or something like that, and they then complain to the Information Commissioner, you may find that you do get inquiries from them and that you do get a visit. Importantly, don't panic. There is still time to do something, and as long as you can show that you're on that path to compliance, then you're likely to be looked on favourably. But do get with it, do start doing something now.